Continue on with the book Journey of Souls by Michael Newton. We'll be discussing Case 7 and 8 in today's video. Let's get into it. Within the captivating realm of the spirit world, a curious phenomenon unfolds, wherein significant individuals from our earthly journey never fail to extend their warm greetings, even as they embark on new adventures in different bodies. This intriguing facet will receive deeper exploration in Chapter 6 of Michael's book. Furthermore, in Chapter 10, we'll delve into the fascinating ability of souls to fragment their essence, enabling them to inhabit multiple bodies simultaneously on Earth. Typically, at this pivotal stage of a soul's passage, the weighty burdens of earthly existence gradually diminish for two profound reasons. Firstly, the profound realization dawns upon us of a meticulously orchestrated order and harmony within the spirit realm, reigniting recollections of what we left behind before embracing physical incarnation. Secondly, the overwhelming impact stems from encountering individuals whom we believed we'd lost forever upon their departure from Earth. Here, yet another captivating example unfolds. Case 7, Dr. N. Now that you've had time to acclimate to the surroundings of the spirit world, could you share what impact this place has on you? S. It's comforting and warm. Being away from Earth feels like a relief. I just wish to remain here indefinitely. There's no tension or worry, just an overwhelming sense of well-being. It's like I'm floating. It's beautiful. Dr. N. Continuing along your journey, what's your next significant impression as you pass through the spiritual gateway? S. Hesitates. Familiarity. Dr. N. What feels familiar to you? S. Pauses. People. Friends. I think they're here. Dr. N. Do you recognize these people from Earth? S. After some hesitation, I have a sense of their presence. People I knew. Dr. N. Keep moving forward. What do you see next? S. Lights. Soft. Almost cloud-like. Dr. N. As you progress, does the light maintain its appearance? S. No, they're expanding energy blobs, and I know they're people. Dr. N. Are you moving towards them, or are they approaching you? S. We're drifting towards each other, but I'm moving slower. I'm uncertain. Dr. N. Relax and continue to observe, reporting back everything you see. S. Pauses. Now I see half-formed human shapes, only from the waist up. They're transparent and I can see through them. Dr. N. Can you discern any features on these shapes? S. Anxiously. Eyes. Dr. N. Just eyes. S. There's barely a trace of a mouth. It's almost nothing. Alarmed. The eyes are surrounding me now, drawing closer. Dr. N. Do each of these entities possess two eyes? S. That's correct. Dr. N. Do these eyes resemble human eyes with an iris and pupil? S. No. They're different, larger, black orbs, emitting light. Towards me. Thoughts. Then with a relieved sigh. Oh, Dr. N. Go on. S. I'm beginning to recognize them. They're transmitting images into my mind, thoughts about themselves, and the shapes are transforming into people. Dr. N. People with distinct human features? S. Yes. Oh, look, it's him. Dr. N. What do you see? S. Laughs and cries simultaneously. I believe it's Larry. He's in front of everyone else. The first one I truly see. Larry. Dr. N. After giving the subject a moment to compose herself. Larry's soul entity is in front of a group of people you know? S. Yes, now I recognize those I most want to see in front. Some other friends are further back. Dr. N. Can you see them all clearly? S. No, those in the back are hazy, distant. But I sense their presence. Larry is in front, approaching me. Larry. Dr. N. Larry is the husband from your previous life, as you mentioned earlier? S. Subject rushes on. Yes, we shared such a wonderful life together, Gunther was so steadfast. Everyone opposed our union in his family. Jules deserted from the Navy to rescue me from the troubled life I lived in Marseille, always longing for me. The subject is so excited her past lives are overlapping. Larry, Gunther, and Jean were all previous husbands, but the same soulmate. I'm glad we reviewed who these individuals were in earlier sessions before this recall in the spirit world. In addition to Larry, her recent American husband, Jean was a French sailor in the 19th century, and Gunther was the son of German nobility in the 18th century. Dr. N, what are you and Larry doing at this moment? S. Embracing. Dr. N, if someone were observing the two of you embrace in the spirit world, what would they see? S. No response. Dr. N, the subject is so engrossed in the moment with her soulmate that tears stream down her face. After a moment, I try again. What would you and Larry appear as to an observer in the spirit world? S. They'd see two masses of bright light swirling around each other, I suppose. The subject begins to calm down, and I assist in wiping the tears from her face with a tissue. Dr. N. And what does this signify? S. We're embracing, expressing love, connecting. It brings us joy. Dr. N. After reuniting with your soulmate, what happens next? S. The subject grips the recliner arms tightly. Oh, they're all here. I sensed them before, but now more are drawing closer to me. Dr. N. And this occurs after your husband approaches you? S. Yes. Mother. She's coming towards me. I've missed her so much. Oh, Mum. The subject begins to cry again. Dr. N. All right. S. Oh, please don't ask any questions now. I want to savor this moment. The subject appears to engage in silent conversation with her mother from her previous life. Dr. N. I wait for a moment. I understand you're enjoying this reunion, but I need your assistance in understanding what's happening. S. In a distant voice. We're holding each other. It's wonderful to be with her again. Dr. N. How do you manage to embrace without physical bodies? S. Exasperated with me. We envelop each other in light naturally. Dr. N. What does that experience feel like for spirits? S. It's like being wrapped in a luminous blanket of love. Dr. N. I see, then. S. The subject interrupts with a recognition-filled laugh. Tim, it's my brother. He passed away so young, in a drowning accident at age 14 in her previous life. It's amazing to see him here. The subject waves her arm. And there's my best friend Wilma, from next door. We're laughing together about boys, just like we did while sitting in her attic. Dr. N, after the subject mentions her aunt and a couple of other friends, what do you think determines the order in which these people come to greet you? S. Pauses. The significance of our connections to each other. What else? Dr. N. And with some, you've shared many lives, while with others, perhaps only one or two. S. Yes. I've been with my husband the most. Dr. N. Can you spot your guide anywhere? S. He's here. I see him drifting to the side. He's acquainted with some of my friends too. Dr. N. Why do you refer to your guide as him? S. We present ourselves as we desire. He always interacts with me in a masculine manner. It feels right and natural. Dr. N. Does he oversee you in all your lives? S. Absolutely. Even after death, here he's always my guardian. Our reception committee awaits us as we transition into the spirit world, meticulously planned in advance. This case serves as a poignant example of how encountering familiar faces can profoundly uplift a newly arrived soul. I've observed varying numbers of entities comprising these greeting parties after each life, suggesting a tailored approach based on each soul's unique needs. There's a distinct organization to our spiritual associates, precisely timing their arrival to meet us at the gateway upon our transition into the spirit world. Welcoming parties undergo significant fluctuations, diminishing drastically for more advanced souls where spiritual solace becomes less essential. Case 9, discussed later in this chapter, exemplifies this spiritual progression. Cases 6 and 7 exemplify one of the three ways newly arrived souls are welcomed back into the spirit world. Both souls were met shortly after death by a primary entity, followed by others of diminishing influence. Case 7, in particular, demonstrated a quicker recognition of familiar faces compared to Case 6. These initial encounters often involve individuals who played significant roles in our past lives: spouses, parents, siblings, and dear friends. I've witnessed deeply emotional scenes during this stage of spiritual transition with my clients. These emotional reunions serve as a prelude to our eventual integration into specific groups of entities at our maturity level. Such meetings evoke powerful emotions during superconscious recall. The intricate organizational dynamics of spiritual groups and their interconnections will be explored in subsequent chapters. It's crucial to understand that welcoming entities may not necessarily be part of our own learning group in the spirit world, as individuals close to us may vary in their developmental levels. For example, Uncle Charlie in Case 6 appeared to be a more advanced soul, possibly serving as a spiritual guide, while in Case 7 the primary contact was Larry, a soulmate on the same level as the subject. The manner in which we are met after death varies, with some experiencing a quiet encounter solely with their spiritual guide, as depicted in Case 5 and further illustrated in Case 8. The nature of this meeting seems to reflect the individual style of the spiritual guide and the unique characteristics of the soul. Case 8 underscores the intimate relationships individuals share with their spiritual guides, often identified by names ranging from the conventional to the peculiar. Interestingly, the concept of a guardian angel, once dismissed as antiquated mythology, now resonates as a metaphor for empathetic spiritual guidance. Despite the soul's androgynous nature, gender identity holds significance in interpersonal interactions within the spirit world. Souls can adopt male or female mental impressions for identity preference. Cases 6, 7, and the forthcoming case illustrate the importance of visual identification based on gender. Lastly, Case 8 sheds light on how and why souls choose to manifest in human form in the spirit world, highlighting the nuanced dynamics of spiritual appearance and expression. Case 8, Dr. N. As you begin to depart from the Earth's astral plane and venture deeper into the spirit world, can you describe your sensations? S. The silence. It's so peaceful. Dr. N. Are you being met by anyone? S. Yes, Rachel is here. She's always there for me when I pass away. Dr. N. Is Rachel a soulmate from previous lives or a constant presence here? S. With some pride. Rachel isn't always present here. She's with me often, in my thoughts, when I need her. She's my guardian. Note: the distinction between guides and soulmates will be explored further in Chapter 8. Dr. N. Why do you refer to Rachel as she? Aren't spirits supposed to be genderless? S. That's true in a literal sense, as we possess both qualities. Rachel chooses to appear as a woman for visual recognition and also mentally. Dr. N. Are souls fixed in gender attributes during their spiritual existence? S. No. We sway between genders at different points in our existence. Eventually, it balances out. Dr. N. Can you describe how Rachel appears to you now? S. Softly. She's a youngish woman, as I remember her, petite with delicate features and a determined expression, radiating knowledge and love. Dr. N. You've known Rachel on Earth? S. Nostalgically. Yes, once, a long time ago, she was close to me in life. Now, she's my guardian. Dr. N. How do you feel when you see her? S. Calm, tranquil, loved. Dr. N. Do you and Rachel communicate with human-like eyes? S. Pauses, kind of, but differently. We perceive the mind behind what we interpret as eyes, as that's our earthly reference. We can do the same as humans. Dr. N. What can you do with your eyes in the spirit world that mirrors earthly interactions? S. When you lock eyes with someone on Earth and recognize a familiar light, it speaks volumes about them. It's a soul's recognition, though inexplicable. Note: the concept of recognizing soulmates through their eyes has been mentioned by many clients. I've experienced it once in my life upon meeting my wife, a profoundly startling sensation. Dr. N. So when two people feel a sense of familiarity upon locking eyes, it's déjà vu? S. Yes, precisely. Dr. N. Back to Rachel, if she didn't project a human form, would you still recognize her? S. Naturally, we identify each other through the mind. But seeing her as a familiar face is comforting. Dr. N. Is seeing familiar faces crucial for adjustment after leaving Earth? S. Indeed, without it, you feel lost, lonely, and confused initially. Recognizing people from past lives helps acclimatize faster, especially Rachel. Dr. N. Does Rachel always appear in human form after each death on Earth? S. Enthusiastically. Yes, she does. It's reassuring. Seeing other familiar faces also helps. Dr. N. Do you converse with them? S. No, we communicate telepathically. Dr. N. Privately? S. Pauses. For intimacy, yes. Dr. N. How? S. Through touch, it's called touching communication. Note: subjects often avoid discussing these intimate exchanges during hypnosis. Dr. N. How do you project human features as a soul? S. It's from my energy mass. I envision the features I desire, but I can't explain how. Dr. N. Why project certain features at different times? S. Pauses. It depends on our movement and mindset at the moment. Dr. N. Can you elaborate on recognition? S. Recognition hinges on feelings during the encounter. Souls reveal what they wish to be seen based on mutual understanding and context. Dr. N. Different circumstances can influence how energy forms manifest? S. Precisely. It's contextual. Dr. N. Can a soul display different faces in different situations? S. Yes, depending on the setting and relationship with the individual. Dr. N. So, recognition depends on timing, location, mood, and psychology? S. Absolutely, it's interconnected. Dr. N. How can we ascertain a soul's true nature with these shifts in appearance? S. Laughs. Our projected image doesn't hide who we are. It's an abstract portrayal influenced by our sentiments. Dr. N. Are these characteristics more pronounced in less mature souls? S. Typically, yes. They can get stuck, but they'll be fine eventually. Dr. N. The spirit world, a realm of supreme consciousness, seems to exhibit moods and vanity akin to Earth? S. Laughs. People remain people regardless of their realm. Dr. N. Do souls from other planets exhibit different features? S. Pauses. Occasionally. Dr. N. What do they show? S. Evasively. I stick with my own, but we can assume any features for communication. Note: recollection of past lives on other planets is challenging to retrieve. Dr. N. Is this ability a divine gift? S. I'm not God, I can't say. The concept of fallible souls surprises many, as revealed in Case 8 and Michael's clients' experiences. It underscores our ongoing journey toward perfection, the core of reincarnation's purpose. Re-entry into the spirit world involves meeting various entities, including guides, familiar beings, and less commonly, solitary arrivals. These souls, experienced travelers, seem unaffected by the lack of initial support and swiftly reach their destinations. While Michael empathizes with their seemingly abrupt transition, their swift acclimation suggests a deeper understanding of their path. This concludes Case 7 and 8 from Journey of the Souls. Next, we'll discuss Case 9 and 10. If you like my videos, please like and subscribe. Thanks.